Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the greatest rock and roll stories in the universe, all from the fans' perspective. It's Rock Stories with the Brummster. Now, here's the host of the show, my rockin' daddy, the Brummster.
Hey, welcome, Rock Stories with the Brummster. 2 M's. If you see 1 M, get out of Dodge. All right, so here's the deal. You know the agenda. This is not yes, we may have some rock stars come on from time to time. I am the Brummster. Last 30 years, been in radio, rockin', and know a lot of people. So occasionally we may have some actual rockers on here, right? Like AC Miles came on, for example, local star. But this show stands apart and is different than other programs. Most programs are oriented around the rock stories and memories of different bands and different artists. This is focused on the fans' perspective. That's right, your perspective. So the stories you remember, the adventures you went on going to that concert and trying to get there with your friends and having this friend or that friend that was crazy or what have you, weird experiences, memories, your favorite concerts, your favorite artists, and what you remember most, because the music is really acting as a time machine for us, right? When that song comes on that you remember, what do you think of? Where do you go back to in your cranium, in your mind, in your heart for the rock and roll memories right here from the fans' perspective? It is Rock Stories with the Brummster. Let's get it rolling. Today's special guest is my cousin. She's rocking from the past. I still remember we lived together when we were kids. And, you know, being able to hang out with her gave me an indoctrination in rock and roll from early on. Micah Winn, welcome to the program, man. How you doing, cuz?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing good. As I'm doing that intro, I'm remembering, again, time machine, right? Rock Stories with the Brummster from the fans' perspective. Micah Winn with us, my cousin. Yeah, we're the same age, right, Micah? So when I grew up and lived with you at your house, you had rockers all over your wall. I mean, other chicks had, like, you know, Kirk Cameron and, you know, all those little pretty boys and stuff. But you, from an early age, loved rock and roll. And let's just say it, the sexy, sweaty dudes with long hair that you liked rocking out with as well, right? What's happening? Welcome to the show, Micah.
Thank you. Yeah, I do remember that. I think all 4 walls were covered, weren't they? Covered in Def Leppard, Bon Jovi, Metallica. Oh, I think you name it, and it was there.
Yep. Yeah. Who was your favorite? Who was your favorite, though, right?
At that time, my favorite was Def Leppard, and this is before I got into the harder rock. But Def Leppard was my absolute favorite. I knew every word to every single song to every album by heart. It was sad and pathetic, but not at that time it wasn't.
Oh, no, not at that time. And radio was king. That's how you connected with it, listening to 107.5 Z-Rock. Fresno's.
Oh my God.
Do you remember Z-Rock back in the day?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, we'd sit there and just rock out all night long, and the tapes and everything. And what else delivered it to us, though, right? MTV. Where's the music in MTV? I mean, we were MTV babies, right?
We were.
Isn't that where you got your first look at a song and a band and a performance from MTV and the cool MTV VJs, right? What the hell happened to all that, man?
Honestly, I don't know, but wow. Yeah, MTV back then. Yeah, that was exactly what it stood for. Music television. I don't know what it is now. Teen soap operas. I'm assuming. I don't watch it, so.
It's Kardashians aren't even on there, man. But same kind of thing. Yeah, exactly. What happened? They have the classic videos channel where you can get a version of MTV, but just somewhere along the line, it went off the rails, and reality TV became so popular. And I guess it was just ratings, but couldn't they have just spun off another channel that had all that crap on it and kept MTV, right?
Right. They could have. They could have. And they should have kept MTV exactly what it was. Mm-hmm. MTV. I mean, it was nothing but music videos upon music videos. I mean, heck, I used to record those music videos. Well, I don't know why, but I used to.
And it's okay. Shut up, Beavis. It's okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's okay that Beavis and Butthead came on, because what did they do? They played videos and just talked smack to it, right?
Yes, they did. They did. Yeah. Yeah, I have to admit, Beavis and Butthead, yeah, I love Beavis and Butthead. Still do. It's a classic.
Rock Stories with the Brummster. Beavis. Yeah. Fire. There's no fire here, Beavis. It's okay. We've got Micah Winn, my cousin, with us, having rock and roll memories and a great discussion. You can catch all things Brummster at the Brummster Spotify channel and at rockradio559.com, continuing Rock Stories with the Brummster from the fans' perspective. Def Leppard, man, I remember at the time, the biggest thing that flipped me out, because you played Def Leppard constantly on the MTV, on looking at the Facebook on the MTV, right? No, it was the MTV, exactly. Def Leppard, we saw them pre-accident and post-accident, and Hysteria comes out and the drummer has one arm. That you went from, and probably their best album ever, at least as far as selling. You, as a Def Leppard fan, I don't know if that ranks still as your favorite album, Hysteria, but as far as sales is concerned, and in the minds of most fans and the historical aspect of it, Hysteria, probably their biggest album, bigger than Pyromania, Through the Night. I mean, this was the best album. And yet the drummer had one arm, right? I mean, you thought the band was over, right? I mean, until all of a sudden he rehabilitated and learned how to play with one arm. But at first, as a fan, you're thinking it's over, right? How did that affect you as a Def Leppard fan when you found out drummer broke his arm?
Well, see, that's just it. I think I came into Def Leppard after the fact.
Right. Because I remember we had the tapes. That's what it was. MTV got us all fired up about Hysteria. We loved the album. We loved the songs, every single word and every single lyric. And we didn't even think about that. The story came to us later that dude lost an arm and continued on. And then we went and got the tapes at Sam Goody. That's right.
Yeah.
That's where you got the Through the Night and Pyromania, right? That's where you got the older, because you loved Hysteria so much, it made you go and find Def Leppard from their previous years. Huh? So what do you...
Yeah, the rest of the album.
What do you think looking back? I remember your brother, my cousin Aaron, playing Through the Night and saying that was his favorite Def Leppard album. And we were just all hung up on Hysteria. So he would play that for us and it just sounded different. It's two different bands, huh?
It was. It seemed like it anyways. Definitely different sounds, but loved it all the same.
You love music, but you love all kinds of music, right? So when you say you loved it all the same, it's also because you have a very open ear and open mind to different kinds of music. So you're not stuck in like Def Leppard has to sound like this. You still love Def Leppard anyway, right?
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely. And I think honestly, especially knowing the story of the drummer, if I remember correctly, I think his name is Rick Allen. After knowing the story about him, it just intrigued me even more because, you know, he was able to, like you said, rehabilitate and then continue making music, continue to be a drummer, even with one arm. And
Right.
he still, he still kicks butt.
Oh, matter of fact, he's still on tour today. I think they have a residency right now over in Vegas, if I remember correctly. And you're right. That album was probably the best-selling album that they ever had. It really put them on a lifelong trajectory to the stars. Mutt Lang, he's a cheater. He was a shitty husband to Shania Twain, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, scumbag in a way. But let's just put that aside, right? When it comes to being a music producer, he was the one who took Def Leppard to task on Hysteria and made them go to another level. He was that. It blew me away when I found out it was Mutt Lang. Really? Yes. I went and checked. Yeah, I double checked it. Yes. So that cheater ended up actually doing some amazing stuff with Def Leppard. Not to give him any props for cheating, but you know what I'm saying? He amazing music producer, got the best out of him, and still to this day. By the way, that's you have Metallica. I'm thinking of all your kick-ass rock shirts. Metallica, you wore a lot. Def Leppard, of course. And I still remember you were like, I ain't got nothing going on. I'll go with you to youth group. And I went to youth group over at First Assembly of God. And you're like, you don't think they'll mind if I wear my, what was it, a Metallica or Def Leppard shirt? What was it? I can't remember.
I think it was a Def Leppard one.
That's right. I'm like, they don't care. It's cool. And no, you just had the total rocker outfit. Like if you opened up your closet, you had a different rocker outfit for every single day. It was so cool. A different cool t-shirt, man. I'm a dude and I wanted your stuff. I was like, I couldn't fit in her shirts though. We're different size people without a doubt. Just a little bit. Right. So concerts, what concerts do you remember going to? I know you mentioned it's not a lot, quality, not quantity. But what are some of the best concerts you were able to get to and go see? Any cool memories?
Okay, this is where I might make a few people jealous. My very first concert was Pantera, and this is when Dimebag was still alive.
Oh, yeah. Blacktooth!
Yes. So I was very fortunate, very lucky, and it was a birthday gift. So, and believe it or not, I still have the Pantera concert t-shirt.
Oh, the same one? Oh, that's so cool, man. Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, Pantera fans, they have a special feeling towards Dimebag. Just every Pantera fan friend that I have, that's the first thing that they say. Wow. What an experience. Tell us about it.
Well, what I can remember, there was a lot of headbanging involved and a lot of smoking at that time.
Cannabis?
Yes. On the way there.
Medical.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. I do remember I was so friggin' excited it wasn't even funny. Just on the way there, I was at a loss for words. I couldn't really talk, but at the same time, I was like jittery, couldn't stop moving. You know what I mean? Almost kind of like a kid in a candy store.
Yep.
Yeah. Once we got there, we were able to actually get into the building before everybody else because one of the gentlemen that was with us, he was in a wheelchair. Awesome guy, by the way. He was an awesome guy.
Yeah, you weren't just using his wheelchair to get you in. That just happened to be a happenstance, right?
Right. I'll be honest with you, I don't remember his name. Cause
wheelchair guy, thank you for all that you did.
Thank you. It was a buddy of mine. His name was Mike, and it was two of his friends. It was all of us that went together. So
Very
I didn't
cool.
know his friends very well, but yeah, we got to our area. I can't even say seats because we were just kind of there, very close to the mosh pit, which I stayed away from because you know how tiny I am. I would have been, trampled.
Well, and she is a very, I'll say, short gal. And you would look at her and think, oh, she's not going to mess with. No, she'll go take on a 6'5" Amazon woman and kick her ass. She's got that in her. And so if you got in the mosh pit, I could see you drawing blood without a doubt. Definitely.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But it was probably one of the best concerts I had ever been to. Typo Negative opened for him. And that was awesome because the lead singer of Typo Negative actually walked right past me. And I believe the guy, he's gone now. He passed away. But I believe he was probably about as tall as you, dude.
Oh, he's a real tall dude?
Yes. It was crazy. But, yeah. Best concert ever that I have ever been to. Just between Typo and then, of course, Pantera, Phil and Selmo. Everybody's throwing joints up on the stage and everything. And, of course, they're not exactly lighting them up because at that time it's illegal. But whose birthday was it? I don't remember if it was Dimebag's or Phil's birthday. But, yeah, it was pretty awesome. I was deaf the next day, and I had a very stiff neck. I can tell you that.
Yes.
I couldn't hear anything.
Yeah, the whole next day you're like, huh? What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much, because we were that close to the speakers.
But the experience lasts a lifetime.
It did. Still does. Oh my gosh. It was awesome.
See,
I will never forget that concert.
That is the time machine aspect of our awesome guests. My cousin, Micah Winn, on the program today. Rock stories with the Brummster. Real rock stories from the fans' perspective so that you can relive those feelings again. Like you're talking about, that drive to the show with your friends. It's an adventure. Now when Pantera comes on, the first thing that happens is it transports you back in time, doesn't it? Isn't it so cool how music transports us back in time, Micah?
Oh, absolutely. Definitely. Anytime I hear any of the Pantera songs, especially when it comes to, what was it, The Way of the Fist? I could be saying the name of the album wrong, because I'm getting up there in age. Wink, wink. But, but, just anytime one of those songs, like Walk, it's just like, I'm right there again. You know what I mean? Right there in that not the stadium, but the theater, and I'm watching them, I'm listening to them, and I'm just like, I've got that feeling in my gut and the excitement.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's special. It's to be able to transport back in time is special. it's special. Granted, it's all inside of your head, but if you think about it, this is we're like living in the Matrix already, right? Like, what is reality? And no, I mean, we know reality. We believe in the Lord and all that. But just as far as just like, all these situations around us, it's everything trying to drag us in a negative direction. Like, the war in Ukraine and just, people getting shot up in the news. And it's like, we need a damn break, right? From all that negative crap. And, these rock and roll memories are so cool because they transport us back to a time when things seemed to be simpler, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because we weren't really adults. We didn't have to deal with anything.
That's part of it. Also, everything is recorded and broadcasted, with these phones. We're the generation that smoked cigarettes and had a phone on the wall that you had to go sit by, until the Home Shopping Network came up with the nifty remote phones that you could just pull the 10-foot antenna out and go. But I mean, literally, if you wanted to chat with your friends, you had to take a big old long ass cord and run it into your room. It was, that's high tech, right?
Yeah, at that time, yeah. Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
And the music, the music is what drives us from that era, because we got stuff from the 70s, we got stuff from the 80s, we got stuff from the 90s. And when you take all that and you combine it together, that's a diverse group of rock and roll, isn't it?
It is. It definitely is. And actually, Denver's got me listening to music before the 70s. So, he's got me definitely musically diverse.
That's
I can
awesome.
give it is. So, we actually went to another concert in this moment. I don't know if you've heard of them.
In this moment? I haven't.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Okay, female singer. Oh, Lord. This woman can sing and she can scream. And I will be honest with you, it is sexy as hell.
You love it?
I do. It's awesome.
Well, you're not a go home and just bake cookies type of person. I want to be up on stage rocking out, man. Just because I'm a chick doesn't mean I can't do that. You're a Joan Jett person, right?
There you go.
Do you love that shit, huh?
Hell yeah, I do. Hell yeah. This whole household listens to nothing but music all the time.
What other concerts do you remember going to?
White Zombie.
Oh, White Zombie. Oh, tell us about that, man.
Oh, I can barely remember that one. Actually, no. Well, again, there was joints being thrown up on stage. But yeah, White Zombie before it became Rob Zombie. And again, I still have the concert T-shirt.
Oh,
looks brand new.
Rad.
Yes. So, that's actually, now I'm really putting my age out there. That was before I got pregnant with Zach.
Yep.
And that was with Zach's father. So he's the one that bought the tickets and took me.
And you rocked out, right?
And indeed we did. Another stiff neck and deaf night.
What? Huh?
Exactly.
Huh? That's what I'm talking about. Oh, my favorite concerts. Well, I'm already deaf, right? You know that about me.
Yeah, I remember.
I'm already deaf, so it's a challenge. But I have to lip read, right? But I am just like you. Every concert I've ever gone to, I run right up to the very front and get a seat that I didn't pay for and start rocking, and just hopefully no one gets pissed off the tall guys in front of them. But
Right.
you never had to really deal with that problem. I know. So that's so killer. You know, I watched a special on Alice Cooper. You love Alice Cooper as well. Rocking Out the other day and mentioning how he did a lot of shows with Rob Zombie, and it's very similar. Like Rob Zombie, White Zombie starting out, but then became Rob Zombie, right? And you saw him as White Zombie, but what would you say, you know, is there anyone else you could, maybe Ozzy, I guess, is close, but really Alice Cooper's right, isn't he? I mean, don't you think that Rob Zombie and him are kind of one of the same, you know, two sides of the same coin, right? The different sides, they look different, but they're still the same coin. I mean, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I'd say so. Kind of, yeah. Birds of a feather flock together.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say so.
Well, and that's what Alice Cooper said, is it's all about the show, that you're playing a character, and that character is who that character is, right? And it's like my kid, you know, loves to get the crap scared out of him, right? And so that's their character. They want to come off as that character. And if you listen to the stories, it's so weird when you actually look at the lyrics. They're not bad lyrics. They're telling a story, right? Like country music does, almost in the same kind of way. By the way, country and rock, not the same. But again, there are a lot of rock and country bands out there. Do you have a chance to see any good country bands at all as well?
I can't remember his name. It was in Exeter, when, you know how Exeter does the free concerts during the summer?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw a few out there. I just can't remember their names.
Right. It must have been a good beer drinking day. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I was sober. No, Florida Georgia line.
In Exeter, California is like a little tiny.
not in Exeter. Not in Exeter. I saw them though in at the state fair.
Oh, Paso Robles.
There you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
I say Paso Robles. It's like the wine mecca of the universe now. Napa, California can go, you know, just, you know, screw itself after that fire, big trouble, you know, and they have a lot to rebuild. They can't just go screw themselves. That's not what I meant. I'm just saying they're screwed, and so they've got a lot of catching up to do. It gave Paso Robles a chance to really step up and make themselves, you know, known for what they're great at, not just being at the doorstep of the central coast of the beautiful California, but also as well wine and music and entertainment. Oh my gosh, those acts that play at the Paso Robles Mid-State Fair, California Mid-State Fair, some of the best in the world. You can't look down on fair acts anymore, can you?
No. Oh, I saw Lou Bryce too. Forgot about that one. I saw him in Tulare.
Right on.
Yep. Forgot about that one. I snuck into that one, but don't tell.
Lee Bryce, Florida, Georgia line.
Yeah. Little Big Town.
Oh, you saw Little Big Town. Oh, then again, this isn't a country show. It's a rock show. But when you look at music, I have the reason why I'm going country and rock at the same time is I have a question for you coming up here in just a second. Little Big Town. All right. Why not just go ahead and go there, right? I want your opinion about something. We both love all kinds of music. We love rap. We love everything. I mean, we don't hate anything at all. I know that about you as well. And Last year, I'm watching the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction, and Jay-Z and LL Cool J are inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I vehemently am against that. I'm not against giving them like a recognition award or something like that, but they don't deserve to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame any more than Wayne Gretzky deserves to be in the NFL Hall of Fame. Right? It just because you play sports, you play different sports. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I just think it's pandering and it's ridiculous that it's like, we want to be inclusive. Yeah, but it's rock and roll, not what they do. It's apples and oranges. They're just because they're both fruits doesn't mean that. I don't get it. I love their music. Give them a recognition award, but why are they being inducted? Well, country music, they tried to pull a fast one and induct Dolly Parton. And Dolly, she had the integrity to say, I ain't rock and roll, honey. Go ahead, and I'm not going to show up. Go ahead and give that to someone else that deserves it. And I mean, don't you wish that musical integrity existed throughout? And again, nothing against any genre of music. What are your thoughts on that? Am I crazy?
No, not at all. I mean, rock and roll is rock and roll, rap is rap, and country is country. There are different genres, and if you're going to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, then in my personal opinion, and again, this is my personal opinion, then you should be playing rock and roll, not, a rap star.
Right. Thank you. Who is it? Run DMC. Thank you for working with Aerosmith to change music forever and bring black and white together. It was a unifying moment. It was rocking to do Walk This Way with the rap and the rock together. Give Run DMC a recognition award from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame saying you are an honorary member, or you get like a recognition of, honoring rock and roll. Thank you for your contribution, or some crap like that. Right. But
right.
But you don't induct, Wayne Gretzky played for the LA Kings at the Great Western Forum, and the Lakers basketball also played at the Great Western Forum, and they're both sports. So maybe Wayne Gretzky should be inducted into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. Let's make all those connections that don't exist. Am I a dickhead for thinking that, or am I just, I think I'm using my brain. I don't think I'm wrong. What do you think?
No, you're not a dickhead. No, you make perfect sense. I mean, it's only common sense.
Right.
Right.
I'm not being mean, but it makes me wonder who's running it. Like, what is their agenda that they would do that? I don't get it. Just to, and it's not there's some music that's not technically rock and roll, but they got in there and I agree with it. So for example, James Brown, he's the godfather of soul, but that son of a gun rocked. And he did it his whole career. And the dude, he's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I let that guy in. Aretha Franklin, hello, the Queen. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. 100% she rocked. And she's down there at Muscle Shoals, studio making magic happen with Wexler. And that's where Dwayne Allman was it Greg Allman or Dwayne Allman was on the Muscle Shoals musicians list that played, there at Muscle Shoals, as a studio band for a lot of these albums that were written and recorded there. It's just world renowned, and Aretha's all up in it, right?
Yeah.
What soul was it? Blues Brothers, respect. Absolutely. So this isn't a black or white issue. This isn't there is some room for discussion on inducting people into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Aretha's there. James Brown is there. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But but Dolly Parton and LL Cool J, no.
No. But, I mean, people are going to do what they're going to do. Dolly Parton, obviously, you know, she has enough respect for music, and I'm not saying that LL Cool J doesn't. So don't get me wrong. But Dolly Parton she's old-fashioned, she's old school. So I'm not part of that genre, so no thank you.
Right. It's more of just, she's very ladylike and she has manners about it. She's not rude. And absolutely, if I'm LL Cool J and you want to induct me into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because I sampled a couple of rock songs in my stuff over the past 30 years, what the hell? I'll take it. I'll take a dinner and, an award and everybody to say how great I am all night. Heck yeah. So I don't hold it against him. He's a human being.
Right.
I didn't think that this discussion was going to happen, but I could not throw it in there once you started talking about the rock and roll concert memories, and then you transitioned to some country stuff. I was like, oh, this is perfect. We got to talk about this now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's got to be some drama with the Brummster. Well, I'm looking at the clock, and it's close to the end of the broadcast. So, I love you so much, cuz. Thanks so much for doing this with me and sharing with our audience all your cool rock and roll memories. What would you tell our audience, just as far as just your opinion as a rock and roll aficionado? What would you tell our audience as far as is it going to get better, or was back in the day the best it's ever going to be? And what's your opinion? Do you think that we've got an evolving, music situation where things are going to get better and more innovation and not just raunchiness and showing more of your body and money and sex, but yes, that's all part of rock and roll too, and telling the story. But some of these people, it's about who they're having sex with and not about their music. And I know you love the music. Do you think it's going to get better, or is it going to get worse?
Could go either way, honestly. And I think it all depends on the musician themselves and how they portray themselves and how they want to portray their music.
Right. Like Billie Eilish, my wife and I were watching the Grammys, and she's got this big old long black froppy thing, and she's not showing off all her skin. And by the way, I'm not judging you. If you got a body and you want to show it off, that's your body. That's not the discussion here. It's
right.
Talking about how she wants to be recognized for her music and her art, not for her tatas. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I respect that. I think it's cool.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm not anti-tata. I'm just saying. Are there kids listening? No, I'm not anti-tata. I'm a human being. I'm a man. Okay, red-blooded American. Okay, that's not the discussion. The discussion is how cool is it though? It's like back in the day, and this is probably a really bad example because of everything that happened with Bill Cosby later on, that we found out about.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, and literally you went too far, man. You're drugging chicks because you can't, that's just, anyway, that's a whole nother discussion.
Right.
But going back before that, before we ever knew that about Bill Cosby, he's a great example of a comedian. You don't have to say F this, F that, and F bombs all over the place and cuss every 5 seconds and be crude to be funny. Because,
exactly.
Right. And there's other comedians, Jim Gaffigan's like that. There's other comedians out there that can be hilarious without saying a single cuss word. And the same thing with music. There are awesome musicians that have great lyrics, great performances, amazing talent, and they don't have to rely on showing off their body and that being the main focus, right? Is that a good comparison?
That is a good comparison, actually. Yeah, it is.
We love art. Well, speaking of, I'm going to go do some paintings right now. I've been getting into doing acrylic paintings. I'll have to snap some pictures of some of these and send them over to you. I'm going to be doing like, album covers, stuff like that. Just, beer signs. I'm not very good. I suck. My sister came over the other day and made fun of me. He was in love, but told me that it looked like my little kid did it. And the truth is he would do a better job. So it's fun though. It's relaxing. So I'm going to go do my painting. And thank you for joining us with your rock stories, your memories, your thoughts on music, rock and roll, life. I really appreciate it. I love you very much, cuz. Thanks for coming on. Micah Winn, Rock Stories with the Brummster. Thanks, Micah.
Thank you for having me, and love you too, cuz.
Awesome. Hang on the line for our engineers. I'll be right there. Rock Stories with the Brummster. Real rock stories from the fans' perspective. By the way, want to be an FOB, a friend of the Brummster, see you over at the Brummster Facebook page. And of course, also as well, would you like a free Today in Rock History with the Brummster? Fresh, brand new, every single day. A free Today in Rock History. It's only a couple minutes long every day. You hit play and you get a nice little entertaining moment, a break from the news. You get a nice little entertaining moment, a slice of your day that gets to be stress-free. Real rock stories. You also get behind the scenes stuff. You also get going back in time. You get all that in just a couple of minutes. It is called Today in Rock History with the Brummster YouTube channel. Like that video, subscribe to our channel. And of course, this show and all of our other Rock Stories with the Brummsters programs play every single Sunday, 11 a.m., rockradio559.com, and also at the Brummster Spotify channel, also as well, Brummster channel at anchor.fm. God bless and rock on. Thanks for tuning in. Real rock stories with the Brummster, real rock stories from the fans' perspective.